So after so many false starts, it's kind of hard to believe that we've even made it here to Spain. But we are, at the Feira de Barcelona and at the end of day one ISE. What a day it's been. Now typically a day one is a fairly regimented affair for me at an exhibition like this. It's catching all of the press conferences, finding out about the latest product launches, and of course doing a bit of chit-chatting on the side as well. ISE this year is a bit different. Perhaps it's down to the pandemic, but the press conferences aren't there. The product launches, there are new products, don't get me wrong, but they're not really being launched at the show to great fanfare like they might have done in previous years. So what's left? The chit-chatting. That's right. ISE Day 1 has been a networking day. Panasonic did still keep tradition with its beginning of the show press conference, where it unveiled a whole new range of projectors and displays, most notably what it describes as the world's smallest, lightest, and quietest projector of its kind. And then a little bit later in the day, Renkers Heinz officially unveiled the PCX series, which it says redefines the column loudspeaker with the inclusion of Unibeam technology. But really, they were the only organised press conferences throughout the day. Perhaps another caveat that leaves some companies less keen to talk about new products, and crucially, when you may be able to get your hands on them, are the supply chain issues that are being faced by the industry worldwide. We've heard from a number of people that pre-orders have never been higher for products than they are at this time. But worryingly, the lead times have never been longer. So what else has been notable about Day 1 ISE? Well, Mike Blackman told us first thing this morning that 49,389 pre-registered participants were due, which was a surprising number, to be frankly honest, and 844 exhibitors to go along with that. I think everyone here would agree it's been a very busy day, probably exceeding most people's expectations. And the show also feels, at least to me, larger than I was expecting. Some of that's probably due to the layout of the exhibition here. We've got a long central walkway that means that if you're going from a meeting at Hall 2 to a meeting down at Hall 7, it's going to take you a while to get there. Obviously, COVID has meant that the Chinese contingent is a lot lower than we might have expected. In fact, the exhibition lost 300 Chinese exhibitors just because of flight restrictions, visas, and things such as that. The lack of Asian visitors has definitely been mitigated by the Middle Eastern and Latin America lot. This is definitely not just a European show. So if a normal Day 1 is typically products, Day 1 ISE 2022, it's really been about networking. But with all of that chit-chatting now out of the way, it's going to be interesting to see how the show develops over the next 2 days. We will, of course, be here every single day, and we'll catch up with you again at the end of the week.